Daf Yomi Tractate Sanhedrin, page 11a, top of the page. Daf Yud Aleph and Aleph, top of the page. Be Mizumanin Lo. By those who were invited by the Nasi. Maaseh Rabban Gamliel Shamar Hashkimu Li Shiva Aliyah Hishkim B'Matzah Shmona. Amar Mihu Shala Shelo Bereshus. Yered. Those who were invited by the Nasi. So basically, let's see here, the bottom of 10, which was which said there was a mnemonic device. Okay, the sages taught. Oh, there's a brisa. So 10b was Nasi. Okay, the Gemara. Okay, it was Zman, Nasi, Itzarich, and Gedi. The sages taught in brisa. The year may be intercalated only by those who were invited by the Nasi, the president of the great Sanhedrin. There was an incident involving Rabban Gamliel, who said to the sages, bring me 7 of the sages early tomorrow morning to the loft designated for convening a court to intercalate the year. He went to the loft early the next morning and found 8 sages there. Rabban Gamliel said, who is it who ascended to the loft without permission? He must descend immediately. Amad Shmuel Katan Amar Ani Hu Shaliti Shelo Bereshut Velo Li'aver Hashana Haliti Ela Lilmod Halacha L'Maaseh Hutzrachti Amar Lo Shev Beni Shev Ruyot Kol Hashanim Kulan Litaber Al Yadecha Ela Amru Chachamim Ein Ma'abrin Et Hashana Ela Bemezumanin La V'lo Shmuel Katan Have Ela Inish Achlini Umachmas Kisuba Hudavet. Shmuel HaKatan stood up and said, I am he who ascended without permission, and I did not ascend to participate and be one of those to intercalate the year, but rather I needed to observe in order to learn the practical halacha. Rabban Gamliel said to him, sit, my son, sit. It would be fitting for all of the years to be intercalated by you, as you are truly worthy. But the sages said the year may be intercalated only by those who are invited for that purpose. The Gemara notes, and it was not actually Shmuel HaKatan who had come uninvited, but another person, and due to the embarrassment of the other, Shmuel HaKatan did this, so that no one would know who had come uninvited. Kiyad yativ Rabbi v'kadarish ve'reach ruach shum. Amar bi shachal shum yetze. Amad Rabbi Chia v'yatza. Amdu kulan v'yatzu. B'shachar matzor b'shimon. B'Rabbi Chia. Amar le ata hu shetziyart l'Abba. Amar lo tehei kazot b'Yisrael. The Gemara relates that the story about Shmuel HaKatan is similar to an incident that occurred when Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi was sitting and teaching, and he smelled the odor of garlic. Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi was very sensitive and could not tolerate this odor. He said, whoever ate garlic should leave. Rabbi Chia stood up and left. Out of respect for Rabbi Chia, all of those in attendance stood up and left. The next day in the morning, Rabbi Shimon, son of Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, found Rabbi Chia, and he said to him, are you the one who disturbed my father by coming to the lecture with the foul smell of garlic? Rabbi Chia said to him, there should not be such behavior among the Jewish people. I would not do such a thing, but I assumed the blame and left so that the one who did so would not be embarrassed. Rabbi Chia mehecha gamir la. Rabbi Meir de Tanya masa isha achas. Shebas lebeis midrash shel Rabbi Meir amar la. Rabbi ani mikem kat echad mikem. Rabbi echad mikem kat sheni bebia. Our Rabbi Meir kasav laget. Kritu v'nasallah amdu kasav kulam v'nasallah. And from where did Rabbi Chia learn that characteristic of being willing to implicate himself in order to save someone else from being embarrassed? He learned it from Rabbi Meir, as it is taught in the Brisa. There was an incident involving a certain woman who came to the study hall of Rabbi Meir. She said to him, "My teacher, one of you," meaning one of the men studying in this study hall, "betrothed me through intercourse." The woman came to Rabbi Meir to appeal for help in identifying the man, so that he would either marry her or grant her divorce, as he himself was also among those who studied in the hall. Rabbi Meir arose and wrote her a bill of divorce and gave it to her. Following his example, all those in the study hall arose and wrote bills of divorce and gave them to her. In this manner, the right man also gave her divorce, freeing her to marry someone else. Okay, except for Cohen, obviously. Rabbi Meir, Mehecha Gemirla. Where did Rabbi Meir learn this from? Mishmuel HaKatan. Ushmuel HaKatan, Mehecha Gemirla, Mishachne ben Yechiel. Shchanya ben Yechiel. Dichsiv Vayan Shchanya ben Yechiel Mibnei Elam. Vayomer le'Ezra Anachdu Valnu Belohenu V'noshev Nashim Nachriot V'amei Haaretz V'ata Yesh Mikveh Yisrael Azot. And from where did Rabbi Meir learn that characteristic? From Shmuel HaKatan, in the incident outlined above. And from where did Shmuel HaKatan learn it? From Shchanya ben Yechiel, as is written. And Shchanya, the son of Yechiel, one of the sons of Elam, answered and said to Ezra, "We have broken faith with our God, and we have married foreign women of the peoples of the land. Yet now there is hope with Israel concerning this." Ezra 10:2. And although he confessed, Shechaniah is not listed among those who took foreign wives. Ezra 10:18-44. Evidently he confessed only to spare the others from public embarrassment. Ushechaniah ben Yechiel me'echa gemer la Yehoshua dechsiv v'yomer Hashem Yehoshua kum noach lamozeh ata nofel al panecha chata Yisrael. Amar lefanav Rabbeinu shelo yela michata. Amar loi v'chi dilatorani v'chi dilator ani lech hatel goralot v'i ba'esema v'Moshe diksiv ad ana mantem. Okay, the Gemara continues. From where did Shachniah ben Yechiel learn it from the incident involving Joshua? As is written, and the Lord said to Joshua, "Get up, get yourself up. Why do you fall upon your face? Israel has sinned." Joshua 7:10 and 11. Joshua said before him, "Master of the universe, who sinned?" God said to him, "Am I your informer? Rather cast lots to determine who is guilty." In this way, God did not directly disclose the identity of the sinner to Joshua. And if you wish, say instead that Shachniah ben Yechiel learned this from an incident involving Moses, as is written, and the Lord said to Moses, "How long do you refuse to keep my mitzvot and my laws?" Exodus 16:28. Although only a small number of people attempted to collect the manna on Shabbat, God spoke as though the entire nation were guilty, so as not to directly expose the guilty. Okay. Tanu Rabbanon, Mishemesh Nevi'im Mechlayim Mechagay Zechayim Lachi Nistalku Chakodesh B'Yisrael. Okay. V'aval b'kein haya mishtamshin bavaskol. Hamachas hayu besum melias beis guya b'richoi. ונתנה עליהם באסכול מן השמיים. יש כאן אחד שראוי שתשך עליו שכינה כמו איש רבנו, אלא שאין דורי זכאי לכך. נסנו חכמים את עיניהם בהיל הזקן, וכשמס אמרו עליו, היי חסד, היי ענב, תלמידו של עזרא. Since Shmuel Katan and his great piety were mentioned, the war now relates several incidents that shed additional light on his personality. The sages taught after the last prophets, Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi died, the divine spirit of prophetic revelation departed from the Jewish people, but nevertheless they were still utilizing a divine voice, which they heard as a kind of echo of prophecy. One time, a group of sages were reclining in the loft of the house of Guriah in Jericho, and a divine voice was bestowed upon them from heaven, saying, "There is one here who is fit for the divine presence to rest upon him, as it rested upon Moses our teacher. But his generation is not deserving of this distinction." The sages set their eyes upon Hillel the elder, trusting that he was one of the indicated by the divine voice. When he died, the sages said about him, "Alas, the pious man! Alas, the humble man, a disciple of Ezra." Shuv pam achas hayvesuvim ba'aliyad b'yabne v'nidna lim ba'askol shemay mishkan echad sheroy tishra alav shechina amr ella she'ein doiroi zakay lekach. Nas to Chacham Yisrael Mishmol Katan Shemesa, Yuchishemesa Amralav, Yai Chassid, He Ai Anav, Talmidei Shel Hillel. Af Hu Amar B'Shas Misasai, Shimon v'Yishmael Lecharba, Chavroi Likatala, Ushar Am Leviza, V'Akan Sagian Atidan Lemai Al Alma. The Braita continues on. Another time, a group of sages were reclining in the loft in Yavne, and a divine voice was bestowed upon them from heaven, saying, "There is one here who is fit for the divine presence." I guess it should imply that they were not, to rest upon him in prophecy, but his generation is not deserving of this distinction. The sages set their eyes upon Shmuel HaKatan, and when he died, the sages said about him, "Alas, the pious man, also the humble man, a disciple of Hillel." Additionally, he said at the time of his death, under the influence of the divine spirit, Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel, the Nasi of the great Sanhedrin, and Rabbi Yishmael and the high priest will die by the sword, and their friends will die by other executions, and the rest of the nation will be despoiled, and great troubles will ultimately come upon the world. Ve'al Yehuda ben Bava bikshu laimar kain, ela shenitrfa sha'a she'masbidin al haruri malchus. And they wished to say thus, "Alas, the pious man, the humble man," about Yehuda ben Bava, in the eulogy for him, but the hour was torn, meaning that the opportunity was lost, and one does not eulogize those executed by the government, as will be explained in 14a, where Yehuda ben Bava was executed by the government. Okay. Tana Rabbanan Ema Birin Esa Shana Ela Im Ken Yirtze Nasi Maase B'Rabban Gamliel Shehalach Litol Shus Eitzel Hegwin Achad Shebesuria V'Shahal Voi Ro Esa Shana Al Menas Yirtze Rabban Gamliel Ucheshem Ba Rabban Gamliel Amar Anroteni Nimtze Shana Muveres. The Gemara returns to the discussion about the intercalation of the year. The sages taught the year may be intercalated only if the Nasi of the Sanhedrin wants to intercalate it. And there was an incident involving Rabban Gamliel who went to ask permission for some communal matter from an officer in Syria, Hagmon in Syria, and he tarried in returning until it was too late to intercalate the year, and because they did not know what his opinion is on the matter was, they intercalated the year on the condition that Rabban Gamliel would want to do so, and Rabban Gamliel came back and said, "I want to intercalate the year." The year was found to be retroactively intercalated. Okay. Tanu Rabbanan. Ein mavir Hashem kein. ושצריכו בפני הדרכים, בפני הגשורים, במי תנורי פסחים, מי ובפני גליוס ישראל, וקרובים כמון, ועדיין לא הגיעו, אבל לא מפני השלג, ולא מפני הצינה, ולא מפני גליוס ישראל, שלא יעקרו ממקומן. The sages taught the year may be intercalated only if it is necessary due to damage to the roads, if the rain has damaged them in such a way that they are inaccessible for those ascending to Jerusalem for Passover, or due to bridges that are likewise in repair, or due to the ovens, which are Paschal offerings that they damaged, unfit for roasting offerings, due to the diaspora Jews who have left their homes and still not arrived due to delays in travel. But the year may not be intercalated due to the snow, and not due to the cold, and not due to the diaspora Jews who have not yet left from their homes, even if they no longer have enough time to reach Jerusalem for the festival. Okay. הגדים ולא מפני הצליים ולא מפני הגויזלוס שלא פרחו אבל עושים נוסן שעה בשנה כיצד רבי ינאי אומר משום רבי שמעון בן גמליאל מהודיען עד אנחנה לכון דגוזליה רקיבין דארקין וזימנה דאביבה לא מתה ושפרת מילתה באמפי ואוסיפס על שרתה דה תלתין יומין. Okay, nice. What are we holding? Wow. The sages taught the year may not be intercalated due to the young goats and not due to the lambs, and to allow them to grow larger before they are sacrificed or Paschal offerings, and not due to the fledgling doves who have not yet developed sufficiently to fly, so they won't be enough of them to supply all those who wish to bring burnt offerings at the festival. But all these considerations may be made supporting factors to the decision to intercalate the year. The Gemara asks, how so? Rabbi Yanai says in the name of Rabban Shimon Gamliel, this is the language Rabban Shimon Gamliel used in the declaration of the intercalation. We are notifying you that the fledglings are tender, that the lambs are thin, and the time for the spring has not yet arrived, and consequently the matter is good in my eyes, and I have therefore added 30 days onto the matter. Mesve kama ibar Shana 30 yom. Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel Omer Chodesh. Rabbi Papa Ratzu Chodesh Ratzu 30 yom. The Gemara raises an objection to the report that Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel holds that the intercalated month is 30 days long. It is taught in Braita how long is the additional month in an intercalated leap year. The rabbis say 30 days. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel says a standard month, which is 29 days long. What then does Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel hold? Papa said Rabban Gamliel holds that if the court wants, it may add a standard month, and if it wants, it may add a month of 30 days. Tachazi Madika Ben. Concerning the declaration of Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, the Gemara observes, come and see what is the difference between. There's a difference between Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel and and someone else.